Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Winning. Hey everybody, Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again with Salt Strong Unchurched. And today's episode is about the power of winning. And I got a true story here with my daughter, Shauna, that's really, really awesome. And I think to kind of take a step back, if you'd asked most of us, we would prefer to win over losing, right? In life and games and sports and just anything, I think most of us deep down just would prefer to win. However, we all know, and we've talked quite a bit about this on different podcasts in the past, that most of the growth in our lives and like the true transformations ironically come from losing, and sometimes losing loved ones or suffering. I mean, I've talked all about my anxiety attacks, and that was something that caused one of the biggest growth transformations in my life. And I wouldn't take it back now, knowing what I know now. During the time, it felt horrible. It was over a decade of my life felt kind of like lost in this kind of fog of dealing with daily anxiety attacks. But once I got out of it, I was like, wow, I understand why I had to go through that season. It strengthened me like nothing before. And it's the same with anything in life. Anytime that we have the chapter in our life or a season, long or short, where there's some suffering or a loss or just a tough time, none of us really want that in our lives, but we all do know deep down that is where true growth and transformation happens. So back to my daughter, Shauna. If you don't know the story, I talked about her on a past podcast. In general, she's had just a really tough time meeting friends. She's in that 7th grade, just that awkward phase where everyone's trying to find out who they are, and self-esteem is really low because that's when you start, getting acne and braces and kind of hitting the pre-puberty level and right before you're 13. And it's that awkward phase that a lot of people don't like looking back on in their lives. And my daughter might be one of those. I don't know. A lot of that's going to be up to her, but she in particular has just had a lot of trouble meeting friends. She's not an athlete. She's not really into, cheerleading and being the popular thing. She's not into band, and she's actually a really good artist, but she really just loves nature. I mean, she's got a little YouTube channel called Shauna the Nature Girl, and she has been that girl really ever since I can remember. I mean, ever since she was 2-3 years old, that was just going out there and chasing frogs and lizards and picking up anything that was living. And even today, like on recess, where a lot of the other girls are starting to talk about boys, and some of them are out there, kicking the soccer ball and playing sports. I mean, she's the one that's out there chasing rabbits and stuff. Their little school campus backs up to a bunch of woods, and I mean, she's out there chasing animals, and she loves it and gets a high off of that. And yet, sadly, it causes a lot of teasing and just the stuff that comes with being a 7th grader when you don't really fit in. So we've been praying a lot over her, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for your thoughts and prayers. It really means a lot, and it's working. And so one of the things that Lauren and I have been trying to do, obviously we want to put her in situations where she can meet new friends and be around people that are like her, and we're not trying to, crate her into Mrs. Popularity. I don't think that's the right thing to do, but really just to try to put her in a position to have some success, to have some wins, if you will. And, this past week, we really realized the power of winning. And here's what I mean. We have tried to get her into some sports, everything from tennis, played golf, did soccer, and none of it has really been fun for her. She's not a great athlete. And I'm just being honest, and she knows that as well. I mean, she's not into it. When a kid is excited and goes all in, and it's just really tough for her to go all in. I do see her go all in, like on anything with nature. I mean, she shines. She's another person when she's around that. So it's good to know what you're great at. But I'm a big believer that everyone, regardless if you're a horrible athlete, you need to do sports at some point in your life. It's such a great, especially team sports. It's such a great way to learn what being competitive is, to learn about how teams work together. Even if you're, playing tennis by yourself, just to get good at something and to learn the power of practice and how that makes you better. I just don't think, and of course the exercise part is obviously great for for our bodies, but in particular, I'm a big fan of just team sports, even for just short seasons. There's something magical that happens there. And we've tried, as I said, some other sports, and I do think this is a massive disservice to our young kids. And I don't just think this, I know this. I mean, there are studies now that are proving this, that giving these young kids trophies, essentially participation trophies, for nothing more than showing up, is absolutely crushing them as they get older. And, there's a lot of talk about millennials, being entitled and this young workforce that, and we've experienced it here at Salt Strong with some of these young people right out of college expecting to make $100,000 a year or more just because they graduated, and like, no. They expect so much. And a lot of that is because they've been rewarded for showing up their entire lives. Think about that, right? No wonder some of these young people in the workforce, expect to get all this stuff just for showing up, not even working hard, just for showing up. And it's because we've rewarded that. We've essentially created this attitude of entitlement since they were young, right? I mean, if you start looking at some of these kids who were maybe some of the worst and go back like, hey, tell me about your past and sports and stuff. Oh yeah, we got a trophy every time. Just all we had to do is just show up and we got it. I really think that's doing a disservice because, as I said, losing is a part of life, right? And everyone is going to experience some sort of loss. And usually how we deal with it and how we overcome it is what makes us stronger. So all that being said, I want to get off my soapbox there, but I saw that with Shauna, growing up, and in her first few rounds of sports, in particular soccer, it was just like everyone got a trophy. And so we finally got her into this a little bit more of a competitive soccer, because she's actually decent at defense. She's never going to be that forward who's fast, but she's tall and she's actually strong. And, she's kind of like a backboard. I mean, she's not letting much go by her. So got her in this soccer league, really just to try to get around the sports, to see the power of a team. Especially, at 12, you got a little bit more coordination and people are doing real passes. And it's not just like they were when they were 6 and 7, where everyone just kind of is huddled around a ball and everyone's just kicking in there. They're learning how to spread out and actually be a real soccer player and a real soccer team. And number two, we wanted to try to meet some new friends. So we went to a new area that we'd heard a lot of good things about in town, like a new soccer league. And so she didn't know anyone. Made really 2 friends. I'd say one good one and one other one that's just might be a friend down the road. But here's where it got real powerful, and this is the big important message. So all of her past teams, like I said, there's never been a winner. It's everyone won just for showing up, which, as you can tell, I'm not a big fan of. And this was the first time that at least that she's been part of sports where there was a true winner and loser. And so they're keeping score, right? And they're celebrating the wins, and they're getting mad about the losses and trying to learn from them and get better. And finally, it's end of season just here recently, this past week. And it's a tournament with all the teams in the entire area are coming together to compete for this, I don't even know what it's called, the Coaches Cup or some cup, but doesn't even matter. But it's a double elimination, and it's all weekend long, many games. And they've tied the first one, and they just kept winning. And it's a lot of time at the soccer fields, but it was really cool because these girls are just they're getting pumped, and my daughter's getting actually really pumped and excited. And I've never seen her have this sort of energy in our entire lives, 12 years old. And it was really neat to see her kind of come alive and just she was excited about the next game. And long story short, they go to the final game. So it's whichever team wins, or the last two left, whichever team wins is going to win this big cup. And they pull off a win against a really, really good team. And it was awesome. I mean, so Shauna is absolutely stoked. And you could just see these girls were just lit up. All of them were just so pumped. They worked so hard. It was, I don't know, whatever, 6 games or whatever across just a week. And it was a lot of action. And afterwards, like, Shauna's still beaming. She's got this big medal, and it wasn't like just a participation trophy. It was like, man, we worked hard for this, and we won. And normally, every single time we've done a sport, as in 100% of the time, after the season's over, we always make her finish. And even though she doesn't want to, every single time she's like, oh, I don't want to do that again. And that's been the same with swimming and tennis and golf and everything, even the past soccer. And this is the first time I was just like waiting. Like, I was like, oh man, I don't even want to ruin this moment. And she's like, I want to do this again. I'm like, what? She's like, that was awesome. That was the best feeling ever. And it hit me, winning. The best feeling ever. She had never really experienced that. And so this whole participation trophy is these, kids and even, adolescents, by just letting them feel like they're winners just because they participated and never really knowing that sense of winning is hurting them both when they do actually have a good team like this one. I mean, had they done that with these same girls and just said, hey, you know what, we're not going to have a tournament because we don't want anyone to experience loss. And everyone's a winner. Here's your trophy. They never would have had that experience. My daughter never would have had that feeling. And it was really cool. It was like a transformation happened. And she's just been more excited about life. I mean, she's waking up earlier, all because of this win. In this case, it was a big one. It was a lot of work. But I think what we can learn from that is to create quick wins in our life. Obviously, the big wins like that are awesome, but that doesn't always happen, right? There's a chance that she could have lost and it might have been a different story. But I think the more that we can set ourselves up to win in life, the better we're going to be. I mean, that one win caused so much confidence in my daughter, and with, I'm sure, these other girls as well. It wasn't funny. She showed up to school, even though it's a place that normally has not been a fun area for her, and she kind of just feels like she's got no friends. And normally, even when we drop her off, I hate it. I just see her, she kind of just slumps down and has her eyes down. And she just walked in with more confidence, with her chin up. I mean, it's stuff that you can tell them all day long, but until they feel that and until it's an emotion, it's really, really tough to tell someone, hey, be confident and have some energy. But man, that one win changed so much for her. And it takes me back to a book. A lot of you have probably read it. It's been a top seller for years, but it's by a general in the Army about just making your bed, about the power of the first thing you do in the morning is making your bed first. Right? Have you guys, and there was, like I said, there's a whole book about it, but it's also been a topic that's gone around for quite some time. And the whole reason is it starts your day off with a quick win. You've now accomplished something the second you get up from work. It's the same reason they do that in the military, right? It's, hey, make your beds, get your boots, shine your boots. I mean, all of those steps are there, not just because, hey, they want to be regimented in the military. It's because all those things are setting you up for success. It's all these little small things are giving you quick wins in your day. It's building confidence. It is wild what that does. So my challenge to you, regardless if you're dealing with something with a child or a grandchild or yourself, I think we can all learn from this in terms of creating quick wins in our life, putting ourselves in positions where we can win. And you know what? When we do lose, because that will happen as well, that we learn from it, right? I mean, what we really need to teach our kids is that, confidence and self-esteem comes from just a healthy sense of self-worth. It's not if you win or lose, right? It's all about that self-worth. But how can you have that if you've never really won or even if you've really lost? And it goes back to why I don't like just participation trophies in life. And I think it's setting these anyone up for failure, not just our young kids. It's because you don't get trophies in life just for showing up. And I mean, I've hammered it on these podcasts of Unchurched because I believe it's so important. The Bible says is important is to, we talked about it last week with the whole Bema, the Bema seat, the judgment seat is, I mean, we are going to be judged at some point, and we should be judging ourselves on how well we did personally with the gifts that God gave us specifically. Right. And just showing up is not good enough. And there are people out there that are counting on us to not just show up, but to go above and beyond and create amazing things and to be creative and to be loving. And I don't know, it got me so excited about the power of winning in a quick win with Shauna. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Like I said, the challenge for you is to create quick wins for yourself, for your kids. I'm going to find other ways, once again, not just for showing up, but for really doing things for Shauna, just seeing what that did for her, just get her to try new things. And hey, you know what? If it doesn't work or if you lose, you learn something from it. But if you do something or try new things long enough, you will win. Just like this soccer, right? This wasn't our first time playing soccer. This is probably the, fifth season of her ever playing soccer. Like I said, the early ones were all when you just kind of get your kid into soccer at 3-4 years old. And we did it for a handful of years. And those are all the little participation trophies. This is the first time we did it, where there's real winners and real losers and real trophies and, kind of a real team on the line. And I don't know, it was so special. And that emotion that came from the sense of winning and the sense of well-being and that, hey, I accomplished something, I work hard for it. It was so powerful. So thank you guys again for all of the thoughts and all of the prayers. It means so much. If you have any other stories similar from yourself, your kids, friends, whatever, I'd love to hear them. Joe@saltstrong.com. And otherwise, I will talk to you all the next episode. Go out there and have a winning day, a winning week, and a winning year, baby. 'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.